Alumni Weekend, big weekend for us here at Tennessee to welcome back our alums. You know, a lot of women put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to build this program into what it is today. Okay, starting over at Tyson Park, across the Strip. So someday you should venture over to Tyson Park and just imagine that's where she
Not at night.
That's where she played every game of her career, and Megan played most games of her career. So we're gonna have a lot of people back this week, and that's gonna be awesome. Monica is celebrating here to celebrate Monday night. Officially, we will celebrate her career with a little presentation before the game because she just retired recently. And she's got a lot going on here this weekend, but we wanted to make sure that we got some time with her, FaceTime with you guys, and I just asked her if she'd come out today and say a few words to you before she has to head off to another event. So, yeah. Everyone, Monica.
Hi. Hi. Gosh. Hey, Karen. I'm like, I don't know, I'm like nervous right now, I'm like shy. I always have something to say, but not right this second. What can I say? Oh man, first off, yeah, I just retired from softball, as you guys all know. But if I could tell you guys anything, one thing I love to share about, and one thing that I love to say to no matter how old you are, play as long as you can, right? Or just make the most of the opportunity that you have, whatever that opportunity looks like. And I think a lot of times we get caught up in the big opportunities, right? Like the big opportunity to go to college, the big opportunity to play pro, the big opportunity to get a degree. But we forget in the day-to-day the opportunity and the little things that make you successful, and the little things that create success, not only for you as an athlete, not only for you as a person, but you as a team, right? And when we get caught up and we lose that aspect of the little opportunities in the day-to-day and how we want to capture those, or more importantly, how you want to create them. When I was at Tennessee, obviously it was a long ass time ago. I probably shouldn't have cussed right there. It was a long time ago. But, you know, when you have a group of people that you can lean on and a group of people on the same page, there's a lot of things that can be possible. But no one's gonna give it to you, right? And no one's gonna say, here's a nice pitch down the middle. No, ladies, we're gonna throw the 70-mile-per-hour rise ball, right, Ash? That's right, Carlin? Yep, when we're gonna try to strike you out. So think about it this way: you have the opportunity, and it's what you want to make of it, and it's what you create. It's what you create as an individual, but it's also what you create for your team. And it's not just going to take one person. It's everybody saying, like, hey, myself as an individual athlete, myself as a pitcher, I want to create the opportunity for my offense. I want to create the opportunity for my defense. I want to create the opportunity for my catcher. I want to create the opportunity for the umpire to call strike 3. But how are you creating the opportunity for not only yourself as an athlete, but for your teammates and for your community, right? If you can take that initiative, if you can take that attitude and mindset and being proactive, right? Being proactive in the moments, that can take you as far as you want to go. The stakes get higher, things get tougher, doesn't get easier. Honestly, it kind of gets more fun. If you look at it in a positive light, it gets more fun. But where you're at now, think about, how can I create the opportunity I want to see, you know, a week from now, 6 weeks from now, 2 months from now? How do you create the opportunity and then go out and find a way how to make it happen? That's all there is to it. Go out there and just create the opportunity and find a way to make it happen. That's what I tried to do, and then I just kept doing it and played a really long time. So yeah, that's kind of what I have. Yeah.
You guys have, you can clap.
I love it.
Do you have any questions? You may not have this many minutes.
There's one thing that I was contemplating talking to you guys about. Obviously, you know, I've played in multiple arenas and know probably everyone in the softball world, I hope, or know quite a few. And, you know, we talk a lot about and I know it's a subject that comes up a lot, and I just want to tell you guys, when you think about who you are as an athlete and you're creating your opportunities, also think about who your story is, what your story is. As we grow in softball as a sport, right? Don't think about where you are, where it is now. Where can you take it? And the ability for you all to be able to take it farther and create huge opportunities, not only for yourself but future generations, is how you tell your story. That's important. How are you going to share your story? How are you going to share your story with not only your teammates and the people here, but how do you share your story with your community? How do you get back involved with your travel ball team, your high school team, your teammate, your friends, teammates, your organization? How are you sharing your story? And what about in your story makes it unique to you, right? We all came through this sport in a different way. Some of our stories align in ways, some of them are completely different. But everyone has something unique that has helped them get to the level and stage that you're on right now. So I challenge you guys to think about your story as you grow and as you continue to become amazing women. Think about your story and how you want to tell it. Okay, and I can't wait to watch, read, or listen to it in any form. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, here's your chance before I send you off to warm up.
As a pitcher, like, what is your mental approach during a game when you're going after some of the best batters and that kind of thing?
Like in between pitches?
Just like when you're competing against somebody that you know is a tough out, like, what is going through your head?
Yes. Bring it on, sister. What, you don't have any competitive fire?
I was about to say, that's actually real.
Like, oh, you think you're gonna step on the plate right now? Oh, she's swinging big right now, right?
Yeah.
But I also want to think more in, I think pitching wise, I try to think more in action, positive action words, and you can say this in any way. A lot of times, whether you're pitching, you're hitting, defense, whatever you're doing in life, like we talk about it in ways of, okay, I was doing this, I was doing that, okay, like my arm needs to down, oh yeah, my foot needs to get down. And it's always something that happened in the past, right? When we talk to ourselves, our self-talk, right? It's always something that happens in the past. I want to change it and think about happening in the moment. Make a positive self-talk action in the moment. So if I was in between pitches, maybe I would be like, okay, you know, I threw a curveball. It's 1-1. Okay, I can get this up and in on her. She's giving me space inside, so I can get it more in. I can throw it at her letters. Okay, breaking it down into a positive action instead of breaking it down into, oh, I need to get my foot down. Oh, I need to snap the ball better. Think less, but in a more action-oriented way, and do your best. Do your very, very best to keep it in the most positive way you can when you talk to yourself.
Any others?
Hi. One, how are you feeling about retirement? Yeah.
I feel like I played so long and I had so much fun. Like, it was awesome. And I never really thought I was going to play this long. I thought, you know, when I was in college, you know, I was hopeful to go to the Olympics. And then I remember at that time, the 2008 Olympic Games, that I was kind of like, well, now what? I guess I'll just do nothing. And it just became another opportunity and thing that I could do to continue playing. So saying goodbye to the sport was difficult, but I also knew, like, hey, I could feel in my heart that it was time. I could feel in my heart that there was other ways I could give back to the sport. And at that point I was like, okay, I know it's time. I think I'm ready, because off the field, I think the impact and voice that I could have would be stronger. Of course, I still miss the day-to-day stuff, like I'm sure some of my older ones miss too, is the being around a team on a daily basis, right? Like that competitive moment, you know, everyone loves a great fist pump, right? Like, it's exciting. And being excited for others, like, I loved that. I loved trying to set other people up for success and being one of their biggest fans when it happened. So those kind of are changes in the day-to-day life, but yeah.
I also have another one. So you obviously did play for so long. So how did you keep your body, your mind right throughout all those years? Especially like kind of transition from college where you had coaches that like were always on you all the time, or like you had such a support system to like going and playing professionally where you didn't necessarily have people to like tell you what to do all the time.
I think one of the biggest things to be able to play long or to play a sport that's so grueling, right? Our season's long, right? It's long. You play a lot of games, play a lot of midweeks. I think the biggest thing is being able to find an on-off switch, and also protecting your time and your space when you're not at the softball field. Protecting the time you spend with the people, like make sure they're people that are worth spending time with, right? Like protect your space so it's a space that you can relax, rejuvenate, and then be ready for the next thing. So just really perfecting that on-off switch. And of course there's multiple things you can do to be able to do it on a moment's notice, right? Like on a bus or on a plane or in a hotel room, wherever you guys are traveling. But perfecting that on and off switch is so huge for just longevity. Physically wise, I think the biggest thing for all of us, take care of your joints, right? Shoulders, elbows, wrists, pitchers. For me, ankles, ankles and hips, right? And then some people knees. So just take care of your joints if that's bands. I was really diligent in doing my bands for my shoulders on a daily basis. And that really helped my shoulders, obviously, being able to stay, throw 70 plus for 20 years. And then your last question was, like, as a pro?
Yeah, like nobody's pushing you the whole time.
Yeah, when Karen wasn't on me all the time. I think the biggest thing when no one was on you, the biggest thing for me was one, to create a good routine, right? Like a good schedule and routine and follow it. And bonus points if you can get around some other athletes that are trying to do the same thing. When you're a pro, right? You can get around other professional athletes or gyms that people are like-minded people, right? Like-minded. And then the other thing too is like be eager for information. Just be eager for knowledge. And it's not necessarily always happening. Sometimes it's observing how someone else works. Being eager to see how people's bodies work, how you can evolve and grow in the game. Not being afraid to learn about pitching or hitting or other aspects of the game, and then somehow mashing it all up, cooking it on a stove, and then putting it back and applying it to yourself. So if you can overload me with information on the game, I'm going to take all of it and I'm going to listen and I'm going to digest and I'm going to figure out which are the main points for me in this moment and which are the main points that maybe I can apply to myself today. And maybe there's a few that'll come back in a couple weeks, maybe in 6 months, I don't know. But I want to take in information and be eager to learn and eager to grow. And I think if you do that, you'll constantly have a growth mindset and that you can take throughout your career.
After college, after you pursued professionally, just continue to play, is there anything that you learned over the years? Because I'm sure in retrospect, 4 years is like a short amount of time compared to your career and how long you played. Is there anything that you would go back and tell or do differently to college Monica or even like freshman Monica?
I was like, as a freshman, I would say like, I wish, there's two things I feel like I could have done better as a freshman year. And I was pretty shy, like as a freshman. I was very reserved and all that. So I wasn't very outgoing, but I feel like one, as an athlete, I should have been more willing to grow, like what I said. Because as a freshman, I was very like, this is what I did. This is what I do. This is why you brought me here. This is why I'm here. Like, this is why I'm here. No, like, my rise ball is my rise ball is my rise ball is my rise ball. It's never going to change. But I had to learn that it's not about changing the rise ball. It's about changing all the things that go into it. Can you put more pressure on a finger? Can you think about the location or the angle or your approach on it? And thinking about all the things that go into the mechanics or the standards of the rise ball that I brought with me to college. And I struggled with that growth early in my career, especially my freshman year. So that's definitely one of them. And then I bet it was good. I bet it was too. Yeah, and then I think just being a little bit more outgoing, right? Like being willing to share, being willing to be open up. I think as I've grown as a woman and in my career, I've learned that it's almost easier to open your heart to people early on than try to be like closed and reserved. It's better to over communicate and share more than it is to like hold back. And as you share and communicate and open your heart to things, then it's easier to bring people along, right? People want to join. People want to be a part of it. People want to be on your side. And I think as a freshman and as a sophomore, at times I was tentative to let people in, to really know me or to share what I was thinking or what was on my heart. And once I was able to do that, my world kind of changed. Not only as a softball player, but my world changed as who I was as a person, right? Like, I wanted to be around people more, and people wanted to be around me more, right? So, yeah, I would say those two things.
I'm like freaking out a little bit right now. So like, how do you deal with like the pressure of like, cause like everyone, you can walk into a stadium and everyone knows who you are. So like, how did you deal with that? Like in the sense that like people were like thinking stuff in the outside world. Like, how did you cope with people like the pressure of softball game?
I love this question, and I would say one thing that whenever someone asks me about pressure, I always think the first thing that comes into my head, the very first thought is pressure is a privilege. Pressure is a privilege. And when you think about it that way, it makes you crave it. It makes you excited for the moment, right? It makes you excited to be the person that's going to be successful in the moment, be the person that's going to fail in the moment, right? Like either way, like if I'm prepared and ready and I did everything I could, no matter what the moment brings, no matter what the pressure is, it's going to be fine because pressure is a privilege. Not everybody gets to feel the pressure. Even in a game, right? Like in a game, not everyone gets to feel the pressure. I mean, you could come up to bat 3 times with no one on base, right? Doesn't mean that you'll lose, right? You could come up 1 time in a month with a runner on second with no outs, right? Could be your opportunity. That could be the one moment you feel pressure. But pressure is a privilege, and it's something that if you start to look at it that way and think about it that way, you start to crave it because you want to be, your name wants to be called. You want to be the one to help the team. You want to have that self-serving and team-first attitude, and that can help ease the pressure. It evens it out over the entire.
Ooh, I got one. Okay, so as a pitcher, you've obviously had a lot of catchers throughout your years playing. So let's say you're frazzled. What is something that your pitchers have told you to kind of calm you down in the moment? Like me personally, sometimes I crack a joke. Sometimes there's a moment for a joke, and there's a moment for
So true, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
What do you get that? Sometimes you need a joke, sometimes you don't. We had a catcher here at Tennessee that's now a college coach, and she's great, but she used to call timeout, and she'd be like, come out to the mound, and she'd be like, Monica, your fastball's not going faster, you're missing your spot, and we need to get a strike 3. I'm like, oh my God, I know. It's just like straight panic because she was like talking so fast and like in the best possible way. Like she was so wanting me to be successful and trying to like help me in every way she could. But I think sometimes when catchers are trying so hard, it's almost like the opposite. I think about matching energy. So if your pitcher is frustrated, maybe take your mind off of it. And you know your pitcher's like pace or rhythm is starting to really amp up, then maybe come out there with a low energy or calmness, right? Because energy is often matched. So if you called timeout and came to talk to me and you were calm, it would help me be calmer. It would help me start to refocus. Because believe it, all of us know, like, no one has to say anything. I know, I just walk people and ball's going everywhere. Like, I know it. I'm not trying to do it, I swear, you know, right? So if you come out with a calmer energy, then energy will be matched, and more than likely, I'm going to be able to refocus and reset myself as well.
We talk a lot about response and how our favorite equation right now is E plus R equals O, with event plus response equals outcome. How in the moment, because it's easy to talk about it until that moment of adversity hits, how do you kind of fall back to your process, or what helps you in the moment to just settle down and kind of focus on your process?
Like when things don't go well?
Yeah.
Two things. One, obviously, you know, post game, you do your normal analyst stuff and like evaluate yourself, right? Like, and not only your skill, but mindset, energy, focus, right? But in the game, the game goes fast. There's not always a lot of time. So we talk, I believe this to a T, and I do truly believe it helped me be successful. I was a person that was very big on routine when I played. Like, I constantly kind of have, you know, I have the same kind of walk, and then I, you know, dust off the mound, and then, you know, step on the mound to pitch. But as much as we stay in our routine and we have consistency in that, it's really good. But when something bad happens, or something like jerks us out of that routine, and we face adversity or failure, or something bad happens that we don't want to happen, a lot of times we either get out of our routine or we speed it up, right? So what I would challenge you guys to do is to have something that is something small, something short, something that is unique to you, that could be like what I would call a reset routine. So something that can give you a moment to take a breath, clear your mind, and try to refocus. The problem is when we don't have that, we start to spiral a little bit, right? Like the next thing happens, and then, you know, momentum swings change. So if you have a reset routine, it not only gives you a chance to collect yourself, but it also gives your team a chance to collect themselves, right? And the other people to reset as well. So for me, my normal one, like I said, walk around, I dust off the mound, deep breath, okay, what's the sign? Okay, here we go. But when something went bad, I gave up a home run, gave up a big hit, they scored, something like that, I would stand, you know, kind of around facing second base, and I would kind of like do this with my cleats, take as many times as I needed, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes, you know, 8 times, until I felt like I could take a deep breath to clear it, right? And I could step on the mound with that positive intention, right? That positive action again. So if you don't have a reset routine, I highly suggest you guys think of something that is short and simple that you could do between pitches or between outs. And I think it'll really help you guys as you move forward.
I don't want to cut it short. These have been great questions and answers.
Yeah.
But she's got a signing to get to.
Yes.
20 minutes from when you're supposed to be there.
Yeah, after I decided to write a book. I don't know. I was like, oh, by the way, you guys, I just want to introduce you to her. She's a longtime Lady Ball softball fan. She actually wrote In the Footsteps of Champions, which is the Lady Ball book. Covers all sports generations of the Lady Ball program. And it's super famous. And then she wrote, I somehow convinced her to write my book. So this is Debbie Shriver. She's my ghostwriter. Yeah. So.
And you don't see me.
And she also has a book coming out on Netflix, and that's 2026, I think.
Yeah.
But in the future.
Yeah.
Anyways. But yeah, so that's it. And then I'll be here tomorrow with the alumni, obviously, and then the following day as well. And if you guys have any other questions or things that I can help you with, please let me know, because chances are I've probably been through it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get a picture.
Yeah.
Let's get this in the background. All right, guys, let's